We're always taught that love of dunya is an attachment to things like money, or jewelry, or cars, or big lavish houses. But what we're not often taught is that love of dunya, hubb al-dunya, this destructive disease of the heart, can also be unhealthy attachments to people. And that was the realization that changed my life. I never knew this before. And because I didn't know this, I was continuously getting hurt. I was continuously becoming heartbroken by everyone around me and situations around me. And it was because I was having expectations of this life as if this life was Jannah. And what I realized is that this life is never going to be perfect. And if you expect this life to be perfect, it's like trying to extract water from fire. Trying to put your hand in the fire and get water. You're only going to end up getting burned. And that's what I was doing with my expectations and my attachments. But what I had to realize was that a lot of it had to do with my unhealthy, false attachments to people around me. From the very beginning, the type of attachments that I had with the people in my family, all the way to my friends. And once I realized this, it changed the way I interacted with people, and it changed the way I interacted with this life. Now, I finished the chapter by answering the question in this dream. But what's interesting about the answer that I gave her is that it was a lesson that I would actually spend my life having to learn. And I didn't understand this at the time that I was 17, but it was a very interesting answer that I gave her. She asked me, why do people have to leave each other? And in the dream I said to her, because this life isn't perfect. If it was, what would Jannah be called? What would the next life be called? And so this answer really was deeper than I realized at the time. But what it meant was, when we put our full dependence on this life, when we put our full dependence on the creation, as we should only depend on Allah, it's like a person who's climbing a cliff and holds on to a twig. What happens? That twig is going to snap and that person is going to fall. Now, is it the twig's fault that you held onto it with your full weight and it broke? And the answer is no. It's our fault because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a handhold that never breaks. For us to put our ultimate dependence, our ultimate love, our ultimate hope, and our ultimate reliance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that whoever disbelieves, وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدِ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ لَهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah that whoever disbelieves in Taghut and believes in Allah has held on to the trustworthy handhold that never breaks. And so this realization was that that's the only handhold that we can possibly expect to never break. We cannot expect this from the people around us because they are not God. We cannot put unrealistic expectations of dunya and everyone in dunya because they are not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we have to learn that there is a place for Allah in our hearts